G'day everybody and welcome to the third Roo rental car review. Today's car I'm really excited about. It is a Nissan Versa. So you're probably wondering what the heck is there to be excited about a Nissan Versa? So what is exciting about this is America's cheapest car. If you just want the cheapest, most affordable brand new car on the market, this is it. So I'm excited just to kind of see what you get for your money. Its weak points, its good points, what kind of value it offers. So this is the SV trim. This is the four-door sedan. There is a hatchback version, but that actually is more expensive than the sedan. This is a 2018 model with about 30,000 miles. Then we've got the key right here. We'll go ahead and unlock it. So there we go. So these start off at around $12,000 brand new, about $12,200 MSRP. So the big claim to fame is the interior space. So this is not a small car. This is bigger than the Chevy Spark and Mitsubishi Mirage, which is slightly more expensive. And that comes in that four-door body style trim. Now, the back seat on this is absolutely huge. And this is probably the car's strongest point. This is a very big back seat. In fact, this is actually compatible with a lot of full-size sedans. So just hopping in, and I'm 6'4", and I'm going to hop in right exactly where I was sitting in my driver's position. And I actually have quite a bit of leg room here. There's actually quite a bit of space, and it's actually a nicely contoured back seat. It's not just a flat bench like you see in the Mirage, and it does seat 5. There's 3 crossed here in the back. But yeah, I've got enough room. I can actually pretty much cross my legs right here, which I can't do in a lot of smaller cars. Not a lot of amenities back here. There's a back seat pocket on one of the seats. No armrest or anything like that. No rear air vents. But once again, it's a cheap car. Now the back seats themselves do fold down. It's not exactly very flat. It's at a bit of an angle. But at least there's a bit of versatility there. 60-40. Now moving to the front seats, what you're greeted to is a lot of hard plastic, and for the price, you can't expect anything else. It's kind of got no personality, no soul. It's a car, but once again, for the price, what do you expect? Now this one has actually a few niceties. It has Bluetooth, has cruise control, has a CD player, air conditioning, power windows, power door locks, but it's all very hard, shiny plastic. I mean, there's no soft touches anywhere. A little bit of nice cloth trim here, which is actually upgraded on the SV. If you go for the base Versa, there is nothing. It's just a plastic panel here. But the great point is I have a ton of space. Like, it is so comfortable in this car. Got a nice little armrest as well, which, in this price segment, those kind of things can't be taken for granted. Decent leg room for the front passenger too. Now, what I've noticed is that this little outlet here is actually kind of getting right into the left knee room of the front passenger. I noticed that if I was sitting there, that would be kind of rubbing against me. So it's kind of odd that they didn't move it to the left, kind of by the aux and USB here. But odd taste. Now, in typical Nissan fashion, the glove box on this is massive. I mean, that is huge. I can put my whole arm into this, and there's a nifty little holder here for like an iPad or some papers. That's actually a really nice idea, really smart. But once again, it's pretty generic. I'll just start it off here. The radio itself is pretty generic. Now, this is a 2018 model. From what I've heard, the 19 has an upgraded stereo to accommodate the backup camera, and it's a touchscreen now. But, honestly, this is pretty easy to use. You get your volume knob and tuning knob. Really, really easy. This is simple 3-knob air conditioning, ventilator controls there. What I have noticed, and I don't usually remark anything on speaker systems, I'm going to shut the door here for a moment, is the stereo quality is pretty shoddy. There's a lot of There's a lot of vibration and noise, and they just seem like really cheap speakers, but you have to keep reminding yourself, it's the cheapest car in America, cheapest car in America, cheapest car in America. And then moving to the gauges, they're just generic, straightforward gauges. There's a little information center here that kind of goes through all the driving info. And I've just turned on the windscreen wipers. So much for looking smooth today. But yeah, it's got all the basic information there. Power mirrors and all that. And once again, all your normal controls. Once again, these are all options. So on the base Versa, you'd be getting for $12,200. You're getting a manual transmission. You're getting manual windows, manual door locks. The seats themselves actually would have integrated headrests. They don't have the adjustable headrests like this one does. Now, looking back, the visibility is terrific in this car. A lot of glass area. Pretty thin pillars. It's easy to see out of, easy to drive. Mirrors are a good size. One other oddity I found was there's two dome lights right there. So a lot of cars will have your center dome light, which is this one, that you can adjust for door on, off. But it has a second one. Usually there's a map light here, individual lights that you can turn on. Now you can turn these on, but when I open the door, it has two dome lights, which is a little bit of an oddity. Kind of strange that they did that. But these have little nice extenders, which, once again, this is a really cheap, basic car. These little things can't be taken for granted. I can see that they tried to do a little bit of fun styling here with the round air knobs. But once again, it's all kind of chintzy, but to be honest too, even though it's cheap, hard plastic, it feels pretty durable and it feels well put together. So it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart or anything like that. So we'll turn the car off here. We'll go around to the trunk. And then there's a remote keyless for the trunk. It's kind of got a little deck lid spoiler here, which is kind of funny on this. Now, the trunk, just like the back seat, is really good size. Now, there's an ice scraper in this because this car's from Missouri, so it's got the ice scraper, although it's 90 degrees today. Don't need it. But it is a good size trunk. This one came with a floor mat option, which has the extra floor mat for the trunk. But there is a spare tire underneath. But it actually is a really good size trunk. I mean, once again, pretty comparable to a full-size car. Now I'll go ahead and open up the hood, displaying the engine a little bit. Now there's one engine available on any Versa. It's the same engine, no matter what trim level. It's a 1.6 litre engine. I can find the latch here. There we go. So it's a 1.6 litre engine. It has about 109 horsepower. So it's not exactly the gutsiest, but at the same time, it never felt slow. You know, in this size class, you know, there's cars like the Mirage and the Spark that have under 100 horsepower, and you know they actually get up and go much better than small cars back in the day. And this didn't feel weak at all. Probably the weakest point in this performance-wise is the CVT. So just like most Nissans nowadays, this comes with a CVT. That kind of saps a lot of the power out of this. It doesn't have to get up and go. It just kind of holds onto that gear range, and it doesn't help this car at all. So a traditional 5 or 6-speed transmission would be fantastic on this. Otherwise, the styling itself, well, someone styled it, but it's kind of, to me, kind of an ungainly style. It's a bit awkward proportionally. It seems like it's on, I mean, it's got 15-inch tires, which are decent size, but it looks like it's on stilts. The tires seem a little bit too small because it's a tall car. It's got a lot of glass area, which is great, but there's a lot of overhang in the back too. And I don't know, it just looks, it looks a little bit third world in styling. It's never going to win any beauty contest. I think the headlights on the front are really big for the car size. I feel like saying, my, what big eyes you have, Nissan Versa. But yeah, it's not exactly the most attractive car. But once again, keep telling yourself it's the cheapest car in America, cheapest car in America. But that's where kind of the problem comes in with this car now. Is it starts off at 12,200. So there's a catch. It's got manual windows, manual door locks, manual transmission. This one's the SV trim, which added the power windows, power door locks, remote keyless, cruise control, all of that. And by the time you add the automatic, which you can't get on the base, you have to get to the SV trim for the automatic. This one stickers in just a little over 17,000, which at that price point, you're up there with much better cars, to be quite honest. But if you're okay driving a manual, if you're okay with manual windows and door locks, this is a great value. I mean, this is a good size, comfortable car. It doesn't perform great on the road. It's not the best, but it's not meant to be. But it gets the job done, and it seems like it's pretty sturdy. And in fact, I'd rather have the manual than the automatic, especially with the Nissan CVT and its notorious reliability issues. But yeah, it's just once you start adding those options, the value equation goes. But its strongest point is definitely the room, which is just massive for this class. And I do liken it to being like the Big Mac of cars. It's basically cheap, it fills a need, but it's not exactly the most satisfying, but it does the job. So all in all, that's the Nissan Versa. You know, nothing stands out particularly aside from the room, but for the cheapest car in America, not a bad value. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.